Alongside Dennis Bernstein and Shane Kelly, I'm Irfaan Gaffar with the fourth period, and we call this segment Dirty Data. Gentlemen, let's begin with the Washington Capitals, kind of having a little bit of a resurgence of late, and obviously led by their captain, Alexander Ovechkin, winners of their last five. Shane, is this sustainable?
Yeah, I think it is. You look back over the last month, this is a team that seems to have found itself again. I don't think they've necessarily changed a whole lot in the way that they play. You still look, they attempt more controlled zone entries than almost anybody in the league. They attempt more carries out of their own zone. They're fourth and fifth in those categories over the past month. But crucially, they're second in the league next to the Boston Bruins over the past month in expected goal share. So that to me says this is sustainable, and also, that there are guys on this team who have kind of started to work their way out of early season slumps. I don't know if this is a team that I would go all in as a cup contender, but I think they're a good regular season squad right now.
Yeah, they're one of these cusp teams. I think it's 50-50 to make the playoffs. Now, the one mitigating factor here is health. Kemper's coming back, and both Tom Wilson and Nick Backstrom are practicing with the team. Laviolette said yesterday that they're not there yet, but if those two are added to the mix, and the one thing about Backstrom, he's had surgery that very few team players come back from. But if we can integrate those two back in the lineup, then yeah, they have a puncher's chance, and they're going to do it offensively. But look, I think Charlie Lindgren, it's probably the only week he's going to be the first star of the NHL, right? So I think that they got a gift there. It's nice scouting and bringing him on board, but I'm not sure. I think this could be a very streaky team, but when Ovi's scoring and he needs to score and he's now at 800, which is an incredible amount of goals when you think about it, like this team is going to be in the mix. I'm not saying, okay, this is a rock solid top 8 team in the East right now. I do want to see once the players come back, the injured players come back, if they are that team.
DB, we'll get to Ovi in just a second, but I want to touch on Dylan Strome with both of you guys. Do you think that this guy's kind of finally found a home there in Washington?
Yeah, probably, right? If he's playing with it with Sherry and with Ovi, he should be a 2-3. So he's a middle of the lineup type of player, right? If he's your first line center, are you making the playoffs? Maybe. You're probably not making it past the first round, though. So it's a nice slot for him to be in where he's not the guy, but he's a complementary piece. He's a really good complementary piece, and he'll produce wherever he goes, but at a second tier, third tier level with respect to production in this league, Shane.
Yeah, I really like his fit here. He has been miscast as a 1C who is not only supposed to transition the puck, but also forecheck a ton and, generate a ton of chances offensively. That's not his game. He's very, very skilled. And what Washington has done is put him in a position to use his greatest attribute, which is his puck handling ability. So they're asking him to get the puck out of the zone with control and into the zone with control. He's first on the team over the last month in attempts at both of those things. Once he gets it in the zone, he's got two guys in Sherry and Ovi that he can dump it off to do the actual offensive work. But to me, he's the perfect fit here. You said it, as a complementary piece. Is he all of a sudden going to be a league MVP? No. But again, this is a guy that you look, he's got one premier skill, and finally a team is just saying, do that. We'll take care of everything else.
It's funny you mentioned premier skill because you have to talk about Alexander Ovechkin. A couple of games ago, people were harping on him for all his goals being empty nets, but then he gets a hat trick the other night. So, DB and Shane, let me ask you this. When will Ovechkin break the scoring record?
You go first, Shane.
I have absolutely no idea.
So he needs 92 goals. So he'll get another 20. I would think the season following. Because remember, he signed that long-term deal to break the record. There's no question about it. It's not about winning more cups. He's won his cup. This team isn't going to be Stanley Cup contender caliber anytime soon. I would say it would be early in the, 24-25 season, if I'm getting my calendar dates right. So I think that, short of some injury, which he's a bull, he never seems to get injured, the team will be good enough, right? That's the one thing that, remember, Ted Leonsis has said, we're not rebuilding. Well, was that Ted speaking, or was that Ovi speaking through Ted? Because Ovi, to break the record, needs a decent team around him. He can't break down the team he wants to break the record sooner than later. So the team has enough quality around it if their primetime players stay healthy that I would think the season after next early. So maybe Halloween of 2024 or something like that. It'd be a great treat, not a trick if he breaks it on that night.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. That was this week's edition of Dirty Data, brought to you by the Washington Capitals and Alexander Ovechkin, chasing greatness.